Hi everyone, how are you all doing? My name is Marilyn, nickname Maya, and I'm here today with a joyful selection of books in June for your consideration. April and May were brutal months for me. I had some dental surgery and a dentist and a surgeon who didn't explain the procedure and the after effects, and this caused me to have a panic attack, the worst I've had in many years, the first I've had, and the worst I think I've had ever. And I'm left with like a lingering sense of low-level depression and anxiety, if that makes any sense. So I'm trying to be easy on myself and read what I want to read in June. And that's what we all should do. Read what we want to read what we need to read. Yeah, so I need some joy and tranquility in my life, some happiness right now. So, as we say on Booktube, without further ado, let's get on to the books. The first book is my first 5-star anticipated read. And I'm not going to tell you too much about it because it's very short. It's Forster. And I got this out of the library, but I need to buy my own copy because it's so wonderful. I can't even tell you how wonderful it is. And I almost put it down, didn't read it. So I finished maybe 3 to 4 chapters. And what I'm doing is I'm going back and rereading because I don't want to miss even one sentence in this book. And all I'll say about it, like I said, this is by Claire Kegan, who wrote Small Things Like These. I like Small Things Like These, not as much as I'm going to like this book. And it's funny because this book has tropes that I'm not that much into, and yet I know that this is going to be one of my favorite reads of the year. I just know it. I'll just say what it's about. It's a coming of age story. And that kind of tells me that this is not a trope that I usually like. But it's about an unnamed girl who is sent to her mother's people, her mother's sister, because I think they can't afford to take care of her right now. The mother is pregnant. And that's all I'm going to tell you, except to say this is amazing. Every word is amazing. I don't know how it's going to end. I don't care. I know I'm in good hands with Claire Kegan, and I'm pretty much guaranteeing that this is going to be a book of the year and a 5-star read. So have I convinced you yet? Okay, now for buddy reads. Of course, as I said, I'm making it easy on myself. I'm not going to go all out on the buddy reads because that brings stress. And I want my buddy reads to be full of joy, joyful June. My first buddy read is with Sandy at MS Reads a Lot, or Miss Reads a Lot, Ms. Reads a Lot. And it's A Room with a View by EM Forster. And I bought this new because I was planning to read it last year. I'm just going to tell you that I loved EM Forster's writing so far with Howard's End. So what is this about? It's a charming young English woman, Lucy Honeychurch, faints into the arms of a fellow Britisher when she witnesses a murder in a Florentine piazza. I'm not going to say much more except that E.M. Forster writes a lot about class, culture and class, and he does it delightfully. He does it thoughtfully. He's just a wonderful writer. So I'm excited about diving into this with Sandy. So I'll let you know how this works out. And the next, for sure, book on my pile of possibilities, or like I like to say, mountain of maybes. But yeah, I don't have a mountain, and I'm not going to use mom anymore or even pop. Maybe I'll just say TBR. But this book is with my in real life book club that I hardly attend unless they have a book that I really want to read. And I really want to read this. It's Taste, My Life Through Food by Stanley Tucci. I haven't seen his, I know he has a series on TV that I haven't seen, but I did see his movie, Big Night. Is that what it is? Let me see. I'm pretty sure it's Big Night. Yeah, Big Night and Julie and Julia. I didn't see Julie and Julia, but I saw Big Night. I loved Big Night. I thought it could have been even better, but I loved him and I loved Big Night. I loved everybody in it. I'm sort of obsessed with food. And I really like him. I think he's a good person. That always makes me want to read a book, when I feel that a memoir writer is a good person and is someone I would like to know in real life. So he says that through food and scenes of family life, Stanley Tucci shares both his personal story and his celebration of all things taste. And he grew up in an Italian-American family that spent every night around the kitchen table. He shared the magic of those meals with us in the Tucci cookbook and the Tucci table. I haven't read any of those books, so I'm in for a treat, because if I like this book, and I think I will, I'm going to take those books out of the library as well, maybe even buy them, because I pride myself in being a pretty good cook. Okay, so those are the two, I would say for sure, books that I'm going to read. My book club in the library is really interesting, because for some reason it's all people 70 or over. I don't know why. And they have a lot of interesting stories to tell. The problem why I don't attend more is because I really don't like the books that they're picking, except one, and I went to one already, just one meeting, and I think I need to read more. They also have a Zoom meeting as well as an in-person meeting, but I'm going to go to the in-person meeting. So anyway, those are the two books. What else am I going to read? I'm going to show you these pretty fast, because they're all by the same author, Harold Kemelman, and they're the Rabbi small books. And the first one is Sunday, the Rabbi Stayed Home. I should say Tuesday now. Tuesday, the Rabbi Saw Red. And this one I bought and I already talked about my last video. And Thursday, the Rabbi Walked Out. So what is all these books about? Basically, they're cozy mysteries, but there's so much more. Rabbi Small, the character Rabbi Small, has a wonderful way of making you feel seen as a reader and want to know more as a Jewish person. He solves crimes with the help of the Talmud. The Talmud is a book that explains the Torah, which is the Bible. I think that's what it is. But I feel a sense of spirituality when I read these books, as well as trying to solve the mystery and feeling good about everything, about the coziness of it. So I love his wife. I love the people around. I love the side characters, as they say. So, and I've gotten some comments when I present these books that say that they loved these in the 70s, and I missed these in the 70s. So I am excited to read them. Yeah, so that's all I'll say about them. I won't go into them to see which one I'm going to read, until I find out which one I'm going to read. The next two books, they're sort of promises to myself. One of my favorite writers, and she's not a feel-good, cozy writer, but yet she makes me happy, and her name is Barbara Comyns. And I talk about her all the time because of the books that I read of her. They stay in my mind. And I say, who was this person who was born, 100 years before me, and writes, let me just read to you what the juniper tree, the first sentence, what it says it's about. Bella Winter has hit a low. Homeless and jobless, she is the mother of a toddler by a man whose name she didn't quite catch. And her once pretty face is disfigured by the car she acquired in a car accident. This is supposed to be a retelling of Beauty and the Beast. And I don't see Beauty and the Beast here, except maybe she's the Beast because of her scar. But I usually don't like retellings, but I will read anything that this author puts out, I tell you. It says about it, it achieves a life of its own, and it allows Bella, her name is Bella, to emerge at last from her ordeal with a feminist, fertile, happy fairy tale ending. Well, they just told me the ending, sort of. Hypnotic and enthralling in the process. Beauty and the Beast, not the Disney, but the real story of Beauty and the Beast. When I was a child, was my favorite fairy tale of all. And there was a TV show it had to be 1960, 61, and Claire Bloom, the actress, played Bella. And right in the middle of the program, my TV went bad. That happened a lot in the 50s. I would like to find that TV show and watch it because I was fascinated by everything about Beauty and the Beast. I don't know if I felt like the Beast or I felt like Bella, who was mistreated. Maybe a little of both. Anyway, she's wonderful. So let me just tell you a little bit about Barbara Comyns, because she's British. She's a British author. She was a British author. And she went through hard times. She was an artist too. It was published in 1985 and ostensibly set in late 20th century London. Barbara Comyns' novel really takes place in a fantastical landscape. That's another thing. I don't like magical realism, but yet I read a book by her that was magical realism that I really liked. The Vet's Daughter. That was the name of the book. I didn't like it as much as I liked All Our Spoons Came from Woolworths. That book was tremendous for me. I think I'm going to like this. And so this was written in 1985, and it's a fairy tale. So, and I was really amazed. I loved fairy tales. I think I said before that in my local library, I would spend all my time at the fairy tale section. And yet I don't like magical realism now. I don't know why that is. Maybe I overdosed on fairy tales. I don't know. But when she does it, I really like it. And she became popular again. I don't know if she was ever really super popular as a writer, as an author, but yeah. But I think I talked about this book long enough. But that's sort of my treat for the month. So I keep this on hold in case things go down for me and I want a fairy tale and it has a happy ending. Don't most fairy tales have happy endings? The last one I'm not sure about. It's a leftover from Mental Health May that was the first readathon that I co-hosted since I've been on Booktube, which is almost 3 years. And I co-hosted it with Kim from Middle of the Book March. And she helped me through, and I hope I helped her through some, we went through some triggering moments during, talking about our mental illness, and in my case, my son's mental illness that makes me very sad. So I want to thank Kim again for getting me through that. But the comments that I've received in, during the month were so wonderful that I knew that no matter what I went through or what I will go through if I do it again, which I hope to do, is worth it, was worth it. I know it was worth it just by having people open up a conversation about mental illness. So the last book is The Feeling Good Handbook by David D. Burns, MD, and more than 1 million copies were sold, which doesn't make it a good book for me. Let me just tell you. It says, makes life an exhilarating experience. I like that part of it. Free yourself from fears, phobias, and panic attacks. I don't like that because it's not that simple. It might never happen, no matter how many books you read. Overcoming self-defeating attitudes, 5 secrets of intimate communication. See, I don't like the fast self-help way of mental illness because I know it doesn't work. If it was that simple, there wouldn't be this explosion of mental illness in the world. So he had a successful Feeling Good, the New Mood Therapy, and he introduced a groundbreaking drug-free treatment for depression. Now in this long-awaited sequel, he reveals powerful new techniques and provides step-by-step exercises that help you cope with the full range of everyday problems. See, that's the caveat here. He says everyday problems. Everyday problems doesn't mean you have depression, clinical depression, or a clinical anxiety disorder. So then it would be easier to fix if they were everyday problems, right? This was 2020. So we're talking 23 years ago. But it might give me some ideas. And that's all, like I was saying last month, all we need is a toolbox. Not all we need, but it's helpful when you have a mental illness, depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, whatever you have. You need a toolbox to deal with it because it's difficult. And, what is, the toolbox? A toolbox is what people use. I mean, a literal toolbox is what people use to fix things, right? But it doesn't always work. But when you have the toolbox, you have a chance to fix things. Well, you don't have a toolbox. Is a carpenter going to fix anything without a toolbox? So it gives you the edge of maybe being able to handle your mental illness. So I talked about toolboxes during my last video, which was a Zoom call with Kim. And I didn't really get into it as much, but I have a toolbox and it's really weird, the things I have in my toolbox. Some of it is like looking at restaurant menus. Do any of you do that? Tell me down in the comments, please. I have other toolboxes, medication when I need it, seeing a therapist when I need it. I haven't seen a therapist my whole life, but I know when I need one, there's one available. There will be one available, I hope, because I haven't been able to see my therapist in 2 months. Just when you need one, you can't find one, especially there's a shortage of therapists. I don't know all over the United States, but definitely in Hawaii. I also wanted to give a shout out to Kelly from Books I'm Not Reading. She's also going through a little bit of a difficult time. So I'm going to leave her last video down in the description box and give her a hug. I know that if you watch me, you probably watch Kelly too, because we come from the same corner of Booktube, as we like to say. So please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I really enjoy your comments, and it means so much to me when you hit the like button, and if you can, hit the bell so you know when I have another video coming up. So until we meet again, my friends, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Mwah! Aloha.